Ladies, let me tell you something. Love isn't about chasing or proving your worth. It's about embodying energies that naturally draw a man closer without you saying a word. Today, I'm going to break down the 3 feminine energies that don't just capture a man's attention, but make him fall deeply, irrevocably in love with you. These are not tricks, they're timeless truths, and once you master them, you'll never have to wonder if you're enough again, because you'll know you are. Feminine energy is not something you put on like a mask or a performance you rehearse to get someone's attention. It's the essence of who you already are when you stop trying to be everything to everyone else and start standing in your own power. The world often teaches women to operate in a very masculine way, chasing success, competing, pushing, proving, doing more and more until they are exhausted. While there is strength in discipline and achievement, that is not what makes someone magnetic to a man on a soul, deep level. What draws him in and keeps him connected is the energy that feels effortless, soft but strong, nurturing yet unshakable. Feminine energy is the quiet confidence you carry when you walk into a room without needing to prove yourself. It is the ability to be receptive, open, and present instead of controlling or demanding. When a man feels that, he doesn't experience it as weakness. He experiences it as peace, as home, as the very thing he doesn't find anywhere else in the world. Think about it. Everywhere a man goes, he is asked to perform, to compete, to dominate, to push harder. Work, society, even friendships often pressure him to be in constant action, but when he is with a woman who embodies her feminine energy, he feels like he can finally exhale. That exhale is the attraction. It's not the clothes you wear, not the words you say, it's the shift in how you show up. When you are rooted in your feminine, you are not chasing validation or scrambling for attention. You're not trying to force an outcome. Instead, you let your presence be the magnet. Men are not inspired by women who exhaust themselves proving their worth. They are inspired by the ones who simply know their worth and let that knowing radiate. This energy doesn't come from arrogance or entitlement, but from self-acceptance. When you deeply accept yourself, your body, your emotions, your intuition, you begin to live in a way that feels aligned rather than pressured. That alignment is irresistible because it creates space, it creates softness, it creates a sense of being grounded. Men crave that energy even when they don't know how to put it into words. When you embody it, they feel it. They sense it in your tone of voice, in the way you listen without rushing, in the way you smile because you're genuinely at ease, not because you're trying to please. To embrace this power, you don't have to give up ambition or strength. Feminine energy is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about balancing your ability to act with your ability to receive. It's about knowing when to step into power and when to lean into grace. It's about creating moments of stillness in a world obsessed with noise. When you trust that who you are is already enough, you no longer try to control every interaction. Instead, you lean back, you allow connection to unfold naturally, and that is exactly what makes men lean in closer. This is why feminine energy is not a tactic but a truth. It cannot be faked. Men can sense when a woman is pretending versus when she is truly comfortable in herself. Authentic feminine energy comes from a woman who respects herself enough to stop performing. She knows that her value is not based on how hard she chases, but on how fully she embodies who she already is. That is what makes her unforgettable, because in a world full of performers, she is real, and real is rare. Presence is one of the most powerful qualities you can bring into any relationship because it communicates far more than words ever could. When you are truly present with someone, they feel it instantly. They sense that your attention is not scattered, that your mind is not racing ahead to the next thing, that you are not pretending to listen while secretly distracted. Men, in particular, are incredibly sensitive to this, even though they may not articulate it. A woman who carries true presence draws him in without having to try because she makes him feel seen, valued, and important in a way that few people ever do. Your presence becomes the energy that speaks for you before you even open your mouth. It tells him you are centered, grounded, and comfortable in your own skin. That kind of energy is magnetic because in a world filled with noise and endless distraction, it feels rare, it feels safe, and it feels deeply attractive. Presence is not just about eye contact or body language, although those are important. It is about what you radiate. If you are anxious, insecure, or trying to force an outcome, that energy leaks out even if your words sound confident. But when you are calm, steady, and open, it creates a field that a man naturally wants to step into. Think of it as a vibration you hold, one that says, I am here, I am enough, and I am not in a rush. Men respond to that because it allows them to feel at ease, and when a man feels at ease around a woman, his guard begins to drop. That is where real connection is born, not through effort or performance, but through presence. Consider how rare this quality has become. Most people live in constant distraction, scrolling on phones, multitasking, thinking about 100 different things at once. When you break that pattern and give someone your undivided attention, you stand out instantly. You don't need to compete with anyone else because very few people even practice this level of presence. Men notice it because they crave it. They are used to being tolerated, half listened to, or treated as if they're just one more item on someone's to-do list. But when they encounter a woman who is genuinely there in the moment, they feel something shift inside themselves. They lean in closer, they share more, and they open up in ways they wouldn't with anyone else. This presence also communicates confidence in a subtle but powerful way. A woman who is grounded in herself doesn't need to dominate the space with noise or constant chatter. She doesn't need to seek approval in every glance or word. Her calm, quiet presence is enough to fill the room. Men interpret this as self-assurance, and that is irresistible. It shows that you are not desperate for validation because you already carry a strong sense of who you are. That stability is deeply attractive to a man who may spend most of his life in environments where he is expected to prove himself. Your presence becomes the balance to his pressure, the calm to his storm. When you embody presence, you also give yourself a gift. You stop rushing, stop overthinking, and stop trying to manufacture moments. Instead, you allow yourself to experience them fully. That self-grounding makes you not only more magnetic to others, but also more fulfilled within yourself. Men may initially be drawn to your presence because it feels good to them, but the deeper truth is that it transforms you first. It reminds you that you don't need to be anywhere else, do anything else, or prove anything to be valuable. You simply are, and that enoughness radiates. Men sense it, and they are drawn to it because it feels rare, authentic, and unforgettable. Vulnerability is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful aspects of feminine energy because it is so often confused with weakness. In reality, vulnerability is the very thing that allows intimacy to exist. Without it, connection stays on the surface, safe but shallow, predictable but unsatisfying. When a woman allows herself to be vulnerable, she is not exposing flaws or shortcomings in a way that diminishes her. She is revealing her humanity in a way that makes her relatable, real, and trustworthy. Men are not moved by perfection, they are moved by authenticity, and authenticity cannot exist without vulnerability. It is in the moments where you let down your guard, share your true feelings, or express your needs with honesty that a man feels he is not just with a woman, but with a partner he can truly know and connect to. Many women avoid vulnerability because they fear being judged, rejected, or taken advantage of, and those fears are valid. But the irony is that by trying to protect themselves behind a wall of strength, they prevent the very connection they desire most. Men don't fall deeply in love with women who seem untouchable or invulnerable. They fall in love with women who are courageous enough to show what lies beneath the surface. Vulnerability does not mean oversharing or pouring out every detail of your life. It means allowing another person to see into your emotional world. It could be as simple as saying, "I missed you," instead of pretending you didn't care, or admitting that hurt me. Instead of covering it with indifference, These small moments of honesty open a door to deeper intimacy. When you are vulnerable, you invite a man into your inner world in a way that no external charm or tactic ever could. Men are often raised to suppress their own vulnerability, to put on armor and avoid showing weakness. That is why your vulnerability feels so magnetic to them. It gives them permission to feel. It reassures them that they don't have to be perfect around you. It tells them they are safe to express emotions that they may not reveal anywhere else. This shared vulnerability becomes the glue that binds two people together, creating trust that cannot be faked. Without it, love remains shallow. With it, love grows roots that can withstand challenges. There is also strength in choosing when and how to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not recklessness. It is not about exposing yourself to people who have not earned your trust. It is about discernment, sharing your inner self with someone you are building a genuine connection with. That choice itself is powerful because it shows you are strong enough to be open but wise enough to know your boundaries. Men respect this balance deeply. They admire a woman who can reveal her emotions without being consumed by them, who can express her truth while still carrying herself with dignity. That combination of softness and strength is irresistible because it is both rare and real. The courage to be vulnerable also comes from knowing your worth. When you truly value yourself, you no longer see vulnerability as dangerous. You see it as part of your authenticity, and authenticity is always attractive. A man may be impressed by a woman's beauty, her intelligence, or her accomplishments, but what makes him fall deeply in love is the part of her that feels raw and real. Vulnerability is what touches his heart in a way that nothing else can. It bypasses his defenses and speaks directly to his soul because it tells him you are not playing a role, you are letting him see you, and in turn, that makes him want to let you see him. That is how love deepens, not through control, not through games, but through the courage to be vulnerable. Mystery and self-respect are two qualities that go hand in hand, and together they create a force that makes a woman unforgettable. Mystery is not about playing games or withholding affection to manipulate someone. It is about maintaining a sense of depth that cannot be fully discovered all at once. It is the awareness that you are more than what meets the eye, that you are layered, evolving, and not meant to be completely consumed by anyone in an instant. Men are deeply drawn to this because it ignites their curiosity and keeps them engaged over time. When everything about you is laid bare too quickly, there is no space left for exploration, and what once felt exciting becomes predictable. Mystery allows a man to feel as though he is continually discovering new parts of you, which keeps the connection alive and vibrant. Self-respect is what gives mystery its backbone. Without self-respect, mystery can turn into manipulation, but with it, it becomes an authentic way of living. Self-respect is about knowing your boundaries, holding to your values, and refusing to settle for treatment that diminishes you. A woman who respects herself does not need to chase, beg, or over-explain her worth. She communicates it silently by the standards she holds. Men notice this instantly, even if they cannot articulate it. They feel the difference between a woman who will tolerate anything for attention and one who quietly and firmly knows what she deserves. That quiet strength is intoxicating because it shows she cannot be easily swayed, and that makes her presence more valuable. When a woman carries both mystery and self-respect, she becomes magnetic without trying. Mystery sparks his desire to know her more, while self-respect ensures that he has to rise to meet her standards in order to be part of her world. This balance keeps the dynamic healthy because it prevents the relationship from slipping into one-sided effort. Men want to feel they are pursuing something meaningful, something they cannot take for granted. When you reveal yourself little by little, while maintaining respect for yourself, you create a rhythm of intimacy that builds naturally over time. It is not about withholding love, but about pacing the unfolding of your inner world so that it can be appreciated fully. There is an elegance in leaving some things unsaid, in letting actions speak louder than constant explanations. Men are often overwhelmed by environments where everything is overshared and overanalyzed. Your mystery becomes a breath of fresh air. It makes your presence feel different because you are not giving everything away too soon. You are confident enough to allow curiosity to do its work rather than forcing someone to see your value. This patience reflects deep self-respect. You trust that what you bring to the table is worth discovering and that the right person will make the effort to see it. That trust is irresistible because it demonstrates security in yourself. Men fall deeply in love not with the woman who tries the hardest to prove herself, but with the woman who carries herself as though she is already whole. Mystery enhances that wholeness because it reminds him that there will always be more to learn, more to uncover, more to appreciate. Self-respect anchors that mystery so that it never slips into games, but instead stands as a powerful truth. Together, they create a woman who is not only attractive in the beginning, but captivating for the long term. She becomes unforgettable because she never tries to be. She simply is, and that effortless combination of depth and dignity leaves an imprint that no man can ignore. Authenticity is the most magnetic quality a woman can embody because it strips away every layer of pretense and allows her true essence to shine. In a world where so many people are busy performing, hiding behind filters, or trying to be what others expect, authenticity becomes rare, and rare is irresistible. A man can sense when a woman is putting on a facade, when her words don't match her energy, when she's saying what she thinks he wants to hear instead of what she truly feels. That disconnect creates distance. But when a woman is authentic, when she shows up as herself without apology, it creates a connection that is immediate and undeniable. Men don't fall deeply in love with an illusion. They fall for the woman who is real, raw, and unapologetically herself. Being authentic means embracing both your light and your shadows. It's not about being perfect, polished, or flawless. It's about being honest. It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. It's about laughing when you feel joy, crying when you feel pain, and never dimming your emotions because you fear how someone might perceive them. That level of honesty is disarming because most people are not used to it. A man encountering a woman who is deeply authentic feels safe because he knows he does not have to guess who she is or what she truly wants. She has already made it clear by being transparent and true. That trust becomes the foundation for intimacy because authenticity creates reliability. You are consistent in who you are, and that steadiness makes you unforgettable. Authenticity also frees you from the exhausting cycle of comparison and competition. When you are being yourself fully, you are no longer trying to measure up to other women or prove you're worthy of attention. You understand that your uniqueness is your strength. This quiet confidence radiates outward, and men feel it. They sense when a woman is not competing, not striving, not pretending, but simply existing in her truth. That sense of groundedness draws them in because it feels refreshing compared to the constant pressure of the outside world. Authenticity tells a man that he doesn't have to put on a show either. It invites him to relax into his own truth, to let down his guard, and to be seen without fear of judgment. That is why authentic women create bonds that last, because they don't just allow themselves to be known, they also make space for a man to be known fully. The beauty of authenticity is that it cannot be replicated or faked. You cannot copy someone else's way of being and call it authentic, because authenticity is rooted in self-acceptance. It comes from knowing who you are, what you value, and what you stand for, and living in alignment with those truths. That kind of integrity is powerful because it makes you unshakable. A man may be drawn to a woman's beauty or her charm, but what makes him stay, what makes him invest deeply, is the authenticity he feels in her presence. It is what makes him trust that the woman he is falling for is real, not an act that will fade once the excitement wears off. Ultimately, authenticity is what makes love sustainable. Without it, relationships crumble under the weight of pretending and unmet expectations. With it, relationships flourish because both partners feel free to show up fully as themselves. For a man, being with an authentic woman feels like finally being home. He doesn't have to wonder if her affection is real, if her words are true, or if her love will last, because authenticity doesn't waver. It is steady, it is rare, and it is unforgettable. And that is why, above all else, authenticity is magnetic. It makes you not just attractive in the moment, but deeply cherished for who you truly are.